Hey, I'm here at the Laney booth because I wanted to check out this new technology. They have a special pedal here, which has an amp in it that I own in real life. It's shrunken into a tiny little pedal, but it also has a Laney amp that I've never played. So it has a CARSTENS GRACE amp and a 60-watt Laney amp, right? So I have two people here to tell me all about this. Lee from Laney and Brian Carstens, who makes the Grace amp that's Billy Corrigan's signature amp. So what I need to know is this kind of technology is starting to become pretty popular, where you have amps in a box and you can either go into a cabinet or you can go into a DAW and play through an IR, a speaker impulse response, and either way you can get the sound of a full-on amplifier into different recording environments.
Absolutely, right? So Laney's been working on this for a long time anyway, and we released a couple of, we call these loudpedals. So you might know Tom Quayle and Martin Miller.
Right. We
have Lionheart and Ironheart versions of their amps. They're two like iconic Laney ranges, and there's a couple over there. So this form has been around for maybe a couple of years, and we've done really, really well with them. And they're all 60 watt. They're real amps. Right? There's nothing DSP about them or anything like that. It's a real solid state amp. And our really clever boffins back at Laney HQ, who've been making the same guys who have been around since making the 1970s amps, literally the same person, mapped the topology of that supergroup amp, the 1967, 68, 69 supergroup, the sound of Black Sabbath, and made it into this. So one channel, I suppose, a way to call it, is a supergroup amp, and then the other one is Brian's amp. And this all came about because Billy Corgan came to James Laney and said, I would love it if I can get my $100,000 rig that cost me tens of thousands of dollars to ship into something that the average guitar center, kid could buy. So we went, hold my beer. And that's what we did. We spent a long time mapping out the supergroup because that's one of Billy's favorite amps. He's a massive Iommi fan. He has that in his rig. And of course, he's got a number of Brian's signature amps, one of them being the Grace. So we reached out to Brian, with James Laney himself, went over to see him in Chicago, and we worked really closely with Brian to make sure that we didn't do, here's the supergroup and it sounds real, and then here's an approximation of the Grace. We wanted it to be right, and it needed to be signed off by Brian himself.
Well, now that you mentioned that, what do you think about it? Has it actually lived up to your expectations?
Well, the camera's rolling now. I would not put my name on something that was not up to the top standard. It's not, there's no point in that. It has to be great. It can't be good, it has to be great. I was skeptic number one. I knew I would like it. I met Laney, great company. You could tell there's real integrity there, family owned. They're gonna do a great job. Went out to Birmingham, plugged it in, and it's kind of like chunk. Oh, okay. There's something here. There's something actually really special here. We spent the next few days tweaking this to get the right nuance from it, and to a point that I was happy with it. And passed it on to Billy. He was happy with it, and it met all of our standards. And all of our standards were very high. We didn't just want to put out a pedal that was middle of the road. This had to be what it is, what it's representing. A supergroup, a CARSTENS GRACE in this format. I mean, nothing replaces 100-watt tube head. It's the vinyl of gear. But in a format like this, it's incredible. It has feel. People don't talk about feel. They talk about tone. It's got feel. It's got air. It doesn't sound like a compressed pedal that as soon as you click it on, the bandwidth just... It's a real, genuine, quality piece of gear that I'm happy to have my name associated with.
That sounds great.
The supergroup, because there are massive fans of the supergroup amps, and they know if something sounds like a supergroup and if it doesn't. You know,
I've never played one.
No,
so,
well, we can change that.
Yeah,
of
I'd
course.
like to check one. But let me hear this one real
Sure.
quick.
So you're on the Grace channel. We're going to take you over to the Supergroup channel. And just really quickly, you have a clean switch,
Yeah.
and then you have a dime switch. The dime switch, the best way to get the most amazing tone out of a supergroup is to literally do that with the dials.
Okay.
Dime it. And when you do that and you wind up the volume, it starts to do something very strange to the transformer. And it gives you a major 6 sub-harmonic.
Okay.
That's just really subtle, then it wobbles,
It's like,
it wobbles around,
and that goes through the speakers, and that's like that cone cry
and,
kind of sound.
that's totally the sound of Sabbath. That's what made the supergroup really famous.
Yeah.
So it had to be in this, and so it took a lot of work to make that work, but we got there. So they both share a boost channel,
Okay.
but the boost is intelligent enough to know what setting it was on between channels. So not just on or off, but where it was.
That's
so
cool.
you've essentially got 4 tones. You've got 2 amps, and then you've got the boost. And then you've got, like I say, the XLR out. So you could record this or send it front of house. And then you can switch out the IRs as well. So you might have your favorite cab
Yeah.
IR. So you go, I'll have that, thanks. And I'll just drag and drop it into the...
Can you play both amps at once or no?
No. But actually, that's a good idea. Maybe
Yeah.
Billy's not a fan of reverb, but we put reverb on it because lots of people like it.
Yeah.
But we were actually talking about maybe we could mod one and make that a blend. Maybe we could do that one
That's
day.
a good plan.
But there we go. So,
Well, let me hear it
yeah.
dimed.
So you're
and not
you're
crazy
dimed.
loud, but
yeah, we'll try and get that button out for you.
yeah,
And
like
then
this. It's got that
Yeah.
kind of thing going.
Yeah. There's loads of articulation in those kind of big open chords
Yeah.
as well. And then obviously you've got the Grace channel. Obviously you can have that clean. They clean up both channels clean up really
Yeah.
well.
But then even rolling the volume down.
Oh, it was once.
Yeah, it's got the feel. Yeah, I like that.
So big open area, loads of bottom, and that's the supergroup, right?
Yeah.
And then obviously you've got Brian's amp on this side, more gain. I mean, we were fully
Yeah.
gain there, but you can tell more people about this.
Well, Dweezil, he's owned one for many years now, so he's
Yeah.
very familiar with the sound and the feel.
You know what? The thing is, like, I feel like mine has even more gain than this. Like, is there?
Maybe.
So we got to use the boost to get to the all the way to the edge of.
Well, you'll find that we are, because this is a real amp.
Yeah.
This isn't kind of like a volume control on your TV.
Right.
It affects the tone as you bump the volume up.
Yeah.
So to get the full experience, maybe you'd need to be louder. Who doesn't want to be louder?
I mean, that's cool. It's definitely
And then-
that does have that kind of like. It's got that kind of feel. See, there's the extra gain that because when you go all the way up on the amp,
Yeah.
it has that extra
That
amount
extra
of gain.
pump. Yeah.
Yeah, like so. But then it's still.
Solid state shouldn't
Yeah.
do that. It doesn't usually do that.
Yeah, it's punchy.
We have a guy, his name, I'll shout him out, you'll never see this. His name's Dave Hirons, and he's a genius, really. He's able to kind of listen to tube amps, the ones he created,
Yeah.
and then turn them into these solid state versions that feel the same way.
Yeah.
So, it isn't like a digital approximation of an amp, it's a real deal.
Well, the thing is, I've played a lot of solid state amps that actually can have a unique sound and
Yeah.
feel to them, but they never really sound like this kind of British
Yeah.
push that you have. I don't know if they've just never been made to go that way, but this is very convincing to that feel.
Yeah.
And I think it's great that you have the versatility to be able to use it straight into a cabinet or into a DAW or into some kind of lower volume situation, but still
Totally.
have the immediate attack and feel that you would get if you were playing with an amp versus the world of digital model.
Yeah, totally. And this is why it's like you're taking credibility with you if you go on a fly rig.
Yeah.
You're not looking for something digital that's kind of there, and you're like, it's not my full rig, but it'll do.
Yeah.
This is the real deal, and that's why. I mean, dotted around the show, there's loads of people with these loud pedals.
Yeah.
Larry Basilio's just done a thing over at the Seymour. Phil X has got one. He's got a Lionheart one.
Yeah.
So when you're doing these fly rigs, you just chuck them in your bag and off you go.
Yeah.
And they attach great to your board, of course.
I'm
if you want to do
definitely
this.
going to have to try some out, and maybe I could do a shootout on my channel.
You should. You should have a listen to all three.
Yeah.
They're all handmade in the UK.
Right.
Yeah, and they all have those same sorts of appointments.
I love that it's also a family business.
Yep, since 1967, founded by a guy called Laney, who was a bass player. He's bass player in the Band of Joy with Robert Plant and John Bonham. And then he was
those
like,
guys are good.
Yeah, they're pretty good, right?
Yeah.
And he was like, I'm not going to play bass anymore, I'm going to make amps. So he did that.
Yeah.
So Robert said to him, well, can you make me a PA? So the first thing he made was a PA for Robert Plant, and that's the one they took to America as Zeppelin on the first tour. And then he came back and then he made an amp for Tony Iommi, who was his mate. And so,
good.
and then James has taken over. Linda's still the chairman.
Yeah.
James is now the CEO, and it's a real tight-knit family, lovely place to work.
That makes a big difference, I think, and it's basically an iconic name in the beginning of the era of rock music, when it was authentically the Wild West and people had to make stuff to have a unique sound. So I'm glad to be able to check this out for the first time, and I want to
have you.
I want to hear it some more.
Yeah, go for it. Go for it.
I'm definitely going to have to try them out in my studio.
Yes, totally. Yeah.
Like, this is like so much sustain. That's wild. Yeah. That's really cool. I mean, that sounds really good. That sounds like the Grace amp there.
I thought so too.
Yeah. Yeah.
We've had a great response to this. So many people, really love the sound. So many people go, "What? It's an amp?" I'm like, "Yes, it's a real amp."
Yeah. It really is.
Yeah. And Billy used it he won an award, a NAMM award, on Thursday, a Tech Award, and he used this and that on stage there with a bass and a drum out, bass playing and a drum and sounded amazing.
Super cool.
So-
Well, thanks for letting me check it out.
It's a pleasure.
Yeah.
Great to have you here.
Thanks for making this thing, guys. Yeah.
We'll get a couple out to you and you can tell us what you think.
Perfect. All right. Well, that's it for me at Laney here at NAMM. I'm going to go check out some other stuff. Thanks.